Okay, so this is a prophecy, and it mostly concerns the continental Africa, the continent of Africa. Though I believe that in the state that it's gonna be, most of the world will be changed also. I lost the voice, so that's why I've recorded over my voice over the video. So it was a dream and a word that was deposited in my spirit as the dream was continuing. So it was some kind of a pictorial narration. I was gliding sort of way over Africa, and I was looking at it as a whole. I could see it entirely, just the way that we usually see it on a map. But this one was a live picture that I could see from above, from a bird's eye view, from directly above. And it wasn't the current picture of Africa. It was extremely fertile, extremely green. And the voice narration was telling me the same thing, that I was looking at Africa that had been before. So there was a time that the land was fertile. The rains were not held back. And in the middle of the continent, and I saw this, there was a huge river that sort of divided the continent into two parts. Now the river was the reason for the fertility of the land, because it was watering the whole land. Now, after some time, there was a rebellion. The people, or the dwellers of the land, rebelled against the Lord. They built cities inside the river, because it was huge. And in my understanding, as I was looking at it, I thought it was the current Rift Valley. And it was as big enough to hold several countries within it, as in a few 100 miles wide river. Not the length, the width from north to south, directly from north to south. Now, I also saw that the entire Savannah was a water world. It was flooded, and the entire continent was green. So the Lord said that due to the rebellion, the land was shaken. Rivers changed courses, including that huge river, and it ceased to flow. And I could see that from the cities that were built inside the riverbed, which caused the river to stop due to their rebellion, they were emitting some kind of a power that would have the effect of stopping the waters from flowing. Now the Lord also said that this was going to change. A change was coming. As at that moment, as he was speaking to me, I was looking at the dry, desolate, desert-like, shrub-like environment that had become of the river. And he said that this current predicament of the river, of desolation, of dryness, no vegetation, was going to come to an end, and the former fertility was going to be restored. The river is going to flow again. And as he spoke that, I could see the destruction that was going to happen when the river would flow again, because several cities had been built inside that river. Some of them will be submerged, some of them will be swept away. And when the river will flow, the land will go back to its fertility. Now, okay, that is the end of the dream. In my understanding, I believe that this is both physical and spiritual in meaning. I believe that Africa will be restored. I believe it has been better climatically and geographically. And I believe all that I have narrated as if they were a part of history at one point. And I also believe that the geography will change again. Also spiritually, I believe that the same thing has happened. We've gone from a place of more than enough to a place of want, where we are right now. And that place of want is going to turn around. And the former greatness that was there, or the former supply that I believe the river represented and the fertility of the land represented, is going to come back. Now, when the Lord told me, when the Lord finished narrating, He told me these words, that the time is very soon. The urgency in His voice was so strong that I thought that I would wake up the next morning and the entire floor and the entire estate where I was at that time will be filled with water. I still feel the same agency, and I believe we all